Welcome to the Gorilla 7 video series. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to create shoot days for your schedule. To get to the shoot days or calendar screen, select the Shoot Days button on the toolbar. If you don't have any production phases or shoot days, Gorilla is going to prompt you to create a production phase and add some shoot days to that phase. So let's go ahead and explore this screen before we create some shoot days. You will be first asked to name your phase. By default, when you create a new phase, it will be named Principal Photography. You can accept that name, or you can modify it by selecting a different name in the pop-down menu, or typing your own custom phase name. You can then select a color. I'm going to keep the default blue color for this phase. Over here, it is going to ask you to select the phase type. Gorilla assumes that the phase you're creating is a shoot days phase. Phases can be either shoot days or non-shoot days. You want to use non-shoot day phases for events like location scouting or post-production planning. And finally, down here, you can enter your start and end date. Now, it's going to enter today's date for the start date. So let's modify that by clicking in this field and from the calendar selecting a start date. I can then specify how long the shoot is in weeks. If I select 4, the end date automatically gets populated with the appropriate end date for a 4-week shoot. If none of these options suit you, you can click on the end date and use the calendar to select your end date. Or you can manually type in the end date. I'm going to click Create here, and a production phase will be created with this start date and this end date. Your shoot days will be shown on the calendar. Here's the phase, the start and end dates displayed here. You only really need one phase for your production, but Gorilla allows you to create multiple phases for better organization. I'm going to create a second phase quickly. If you select the New Shoot Days phase button, you will be taken back to the Create Phase screen. I'm going to modify the information here just a little bit. Let's call this the Pickups phase. We will change the color, and lastly, change the start and end dates to, say, the next month when we are done. And then click Create. When you return to the Shoot Day screen, you will see that you can toggle between the two phases here. I'm going to select the Principal Photography phase because that's the phase we're going to work with. Let's modify one of the days to a day off. If I select this date here for this shoot day and go to the detail for that day, you can specify here whether or not this will be a day off. You do this by selecting this checkbox. A day off, or off day, sometimes referred to, means that you cannot schedule any crew for that day. This will also remove this day from your stripboard, which I will go over in the stripboard lesson. Let's select a different day, and you can do that here as a shortcut by selecting this drop-down menu. And let's schedule some crew for this day. Select the Add Crew to this Shoot Day button. You will see a list of crew members created in the Crew section. You can select a crew member and they will be added to the shoot day. You can also create a new crew member here. Let's do that. Enter a first and last name and choose a title from the drop-down menu. In another lesson, I will show you how to add and modify crew, title, and departments. Then click OK. To attach the new crew member, select it. A new feature in Gorilla 7 is the ability to add all crew members to the shoot day you are on. You can do this by selecting this button here. If the production is traveling on a particular day, you can select the Travel checkbox. And notice that the travel label appears here. Notice also that the shoot day did not turn this travel day into an off day. That's because it is possible to have travel and shooting on the same day. If the travel day is indeed also an off day, you can specify that this day will also be an off day by selecting that here. To change it back to a shoot day, just deselect the checkbox and it becomes a shoot day again. Same thing with holidays and non-shoot days.
Next, let's add a new shoot day to our existing production phase. Go back to the shoot day screen and select the date on the calendar you want to add. You will receive a message asking if you want to add this date to the selected phase. Once created, not only will the shoot day be seen on the calendar, but it will be added as a new black strip on the strip board. Notice that the end date for this phase is changed to reflect the new date. Next, let's add another date, but this time I will select a day that is not a continuous day on the calendar. Notice that the message warns you that the day between will be marked as an off day. To delete a shoot day, you need to edit the phase. Select the Edit button and then the Edit Shoot Days button.
This allows you to do three things, and you can see the three different tabs here. In the first tab, labeled Shoot Days, you can rename the phase. You can modify the start and or end dates, and you can push the days forward or backward.
To remove the last shoot day, for example, you would change the date in the End Date field, and then click OK.
Now, the difference between completely modifying your shoot days by manually entering a new start date and or end date and pushing your days forward or backward is important. If you were to modify your shoot days from scratch, it's possible to enter a different range of dates. And if you already created your strip board, then you would have either more days at the end or less days, which could mess up your schedule. If you use the Push Days feature, this assures you that the number of shoot days remains the same. If the number of days must change, then realize that you will have extra shoot days or less shoot days on your strip board, which you will have to manually adjust for your schedule. And finally, in the Crew tab, you can specify primary crew that you want to appear on certain reports. That's a wrap. Have a great shoot.